Cooking methods. Because most pioneer families had immigrated from Europe, they were used to certain foods, flavors, and conveniences. Being the first to move to an unsettled region meant saying goodbye to these things and living off what could be hunted, foraged, or grown. For most, this was a rude awakening and a very different way of life. Pioneers soon realized that on the western frontier everything had a purpose and use, and they found ways to make the most of what they had. Didn't have oranges or fruit? No problem. They would make marmalade from carrots simmered in syrup with ginger. Craving pumpkin pie? Mom would mash up some beans and season it to taste just like it. What do you think? Just like the original. Because food took so long to cook and prepare, pioneers would always be thinking about not just their meal for today, but for tomorrow as well. Often the meat they ate was not fresh, but had been smoked or cured to last throughout the year. Life was hard, and the manual labor required to live off the land meant that energy was quickly depleted. To keep up with the demands on their body, proper nutrition was key. Early settlers ate as much higher amount of carbohydrates such as potatoes, corn, and bread, and protein such as meat in order to give them the calories they needed. In fact, just as we have people who advocate for proper nutrition today, a man named Sylvester Graham advocated for using whole foods such as whole wheat flour rather than processed white flours and sugar. Think about it. Even living off the land, nutrition was not something that was widely known or talked about, and some people became very ill from lack of a varied diet or a disease known as scurvy, where the body doesn't get enough vitamin C. Today, there is a much broader understanding of nutrition and how it affects our body. However, people still get sick from poor nutrition. Why do you think that is? Do you think you eat a healthy diet in your home? Why or why not? What is one thing you can do this week to improve your diet, either in taking something away or adding something in? What about drinks? Take a minute as a family to think about all the drinks you have at your fingertips. Apple juice, orange juice, lemonade, iced tea, and a plethora of sodas and bubbly concoctions, coffee, tea, hot chocolate, and the list goes on. During pioneer times, some of the few similarities to today's beverage menu would have been coffee, tea, and milk. Coffee beans were often purchased green and roasted to taste, and tea leaves might be grown or purchased and stored to last the year. During long hot days in the garden, unique drinks were made to help replenish the body and give energy. Ginger water was a slightly spicy drink to put a little pep in your step. Beef tea was a drink served hot that could be both soothing and offer some protein. It was made from boiling and then steeping water, salt, and beef. Kind of like the bone broths we make today. It was an effort to lend a bit of respite and strength to the long, hard days of work. Eggnog, made from milk and eggs, was served cool during the hot months instead of the Christmas season we drink it in now.
Well, bone broth is good when you add salt. It's like a soup.
Yeah, but not in the hot afternoon in the garden.
With no flavoring else in it.
Perhaps one of the most popular drinks during this time was alcohol. Many families made their own alcoholic beverages or would trade or purchase them. Recipes were carefully guarded and passed down. Fruity wines and ciders, fermented beers, and distilled spirits such as whiskey were all common forms of drink in the 19th century, a time when alcohol was considered safer than water. While it was a normal part of life for many families, alcohol was abused by others. There have been, and still to this day remain, many different opinions regarding alcohol and different attempts to regulate and control it to reduce crime and improve health. What do you think? How is alcohol controlled where you live? What are its effects? What are your rules as a family?